Hi all, welcome to John's Bottle Making. Today I've got the Red Bull for you. Yes, got the last three of this month's package, 18, 19 and 20. There we go. So we carry on with the engine. There she is, little beauty. All them fiddly pipes. We had a bit more to the engine today. I'm not sure if it's fully completed, but I think it is. And then we'll need this little piece, the safety cell. We're basically going to put the accelerator and brake pedals into place onto that as well. We need the wheel on there, don't we? We need the other side as well. A lot more to all. Anyway, let's make a start with stage 18. Okay, we have stage 18, Netherlands 2023. After a 3-week break, Formula One's return from the summer break was full of excitement. Thousands of fans flocked to the Zandvoort circuit to see if their local hero had recharged his batteries, and Verstappen did not disappoint. Yeah, I think they were medium tyres for the rain. Look cool though, with all that tread on. Qualifying classification, Max first, Sergio 7th. But they finished. Max first, Sergio was 4th. Ooh. Lots of rain in that one. Excellent read though. So here we have right exhaust manifold. We have 18A lower turbo connection, 18B intermediate turbo connection, 18C right exhaust manifold, 18D right exhaust sensor, 18E intake casing 1, 18F pipe E, 18G pipe F and A screws. So we'll need that piece, 12A, pop that with 18E, pop that onto the engine, and this lovely little piece. I do like that, I like the gold on it. It's gold, isn't it? Or is it brass? Oh, well, never mind. Right, and then we put the rest of the connections on, fiddly little pieces and pipes, and then we get the manifold into place. There we go. This is what the parts have been assembled at this stage of the assembly look like. Excellent. There are the parts. Let's get on with the build. Okay, let's get the parts out. Okay, those are all the parts that we've got. We need A screws, so to get them out we need 12A, which is this little piece, and we need 18E, them two go together, something like that. That will go there like so. We need one of these A screws. There we go. That's how that should look. Push them to one side. We will need another A screw, because now we need the engine, and basically that what we just put together will go onto there like that, and you can see how that goes in between them two pieces there. Excellent. Now let's put that together with an A screw. There we go. Right, now we need the turbo wheel. Now there are two connections on this, one there and one there. We do need it to face a certain way, so get that into place. There we go, just pushes in. That's not going to come out, that's how you want it. Excellent stuff. Right, now we need 18B and 18A. They go in here and here. 18B goes in the top. Let's see. That goes there. I just knocked something off. No, I haven't, thankfully. And 18A goes on the bottom. Should have put 18A on first, I think. Let's get on. Well, I think at this point we could have actually put 18B and 18A into 12A before we fixed it into place, because it is rather fiddly. There we go. Got to line up 18B, get the shape of it right because of the curvature of 12A. As you can see, yeah, it's correct now. That looks cool. That is brilliant. That's it. The curvature of 12A with 18B. And 18A is in place. Excellent stuff. Okay, now we want 18G is the little pipe. Connect one end of pipe F18G to the turbo wheel 12C and the other end to the front panel of the engine block. Popping into the front end of the engine block first. There we go, wiggle, 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 and then we pop it on to the turbo wheel with a pair of pliers, a pair of tweezers. There we go. Fiddly as ever, these pipes. That's looking cool though. Excellent stuff. There we go. That's 18G in place. Okay, next we need 16C, and we need to pop and place pipe E 18F into the hole in pipe A 16C. There we go. All these connections are a little bit fiddly, but it's in place. As you can see, that looks excellent. Right, we need to pop this onto the engine block. Now we do step 8-7, connect the long end of pipe A 16C to the highlighted pivot on the lower centre block 12D and the short end to the turbo wheel 12C. Now put it onto 12C. To pop it onto the lower centre block 12D. Bring that around, I'll have to use the pliers again. There we go, you can just about see where it's going. There we go, that is 12D, the lower centre block. Excellent. There's 12C, wrapped around there. Looking cool, brilliant stuff. Okay, next we need the right exhaust sensor 18D, and we need to fit that to the highlighted pivot on the right exhaust manifold 18C. So 18D onto 18C. That looks correct. I think that's hugging it. No, it's not. There we go. That's correct. Yeah, you can see how it hugs the curvature of the manifold. Excellent. Right, now we can pop that manifold into place. We have 3 connections there and 1 there. So we need to insert the upper pivot on the right exhaust manifold 18C into the highlighted hole in the turbo housing 16A and attach the 3 lower manifold pipes to the right hand block 9A. This is going to be a tight squeeze, this. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to do this off camera. There we go, that's the manifold squeezed in place. Yeah, no gap anymore and everything else is in place. Brilliant. Excellent. It was just a matter of taking it off and pushing it in at that end separately, and it's gone in perfectly. And those connections are great as well into the block. Excellent. Right, let's move on to stage 19. Okay, now we have stage 19. Italy 2023 Monza became a real hive of activity during the Grand Prix weekend. The Tifosi never tired of cheering on the Ferraris. Yeah, apparently the Ferraris pushed the Red Bulls all the way. There we go. Max didn't get first, came second in qualifying, behind the Ferrari. But there we go, 1 and 2 for the Red Bull. Excellent stuff. And here we have the exhaust system. In this issue we will connect some exhaust sections and pipes to the central engine block assembly. So we have 19A intermediate air intake housing A, 19B is intermediate air intake housing B, 19C right hand exhaust section A, 19D left hand exhaust section A, and pipe G is 19E, pipe H is 19F, 19G is right hand airbox support, 19H is pipe I, 19I is pipe J. Now I've read the instructions already and I think there's a bit of a mix up on here. Connect one end of pipe I, 19H, to the free pivot on the airbox 14A. So pipe I, 19H. Yep, that's correct. And the wider end of pipe J, 19H. There you go. To the left cylinder head 2. Now pipe J, as I know, is 19I. So that's where the mistake is. There you can see all the other pieces going together. So be careful of that. Step 9. Step 19-4, as I like to call it. Everything else seems fine. Excellent. they're the parts. Let's get on with the build. Okay, let's get the parts out. There we go, those are the parts. Now we don't actually use these, so we can pop them to one side. But what we do need is 19D and 19C. Now we want them this way, so we get that end with the two pegs on opposite each other. There we go, that goes like that. And now we need the engine, because that will go into there. Nice tight fit. Just trying to position my fingers so I don't knock anything off. There we go. I think that's how that goes. It's perfectly good anyway. Right, now we need 19E. Okay, 19E is this little pipe. Now that goes on to this one here. So this outer one. Tweezers. There we go. And it goes around here to here. On the top of this airbox. There we go. That was rather fiddly for me. That's a bit closer. There we go, you can see that pipe work there. Excellent. Okay, so 19I, which will go on to the other little pip, just behind the first pipe we put in. Bear with me. There we go. That's that pipe in place. See that alright? This one? Yeah, excellent. That is a free end at the moment. Now we want 19H, which goes onto that silver connection just there. This is going to be a tight one, this one, I know it is. There we go, you can see 19H, which is this thick pipe, just here, onto here. There we go, it goes onto 10D, and it just brushes past these two pipes here. So it's a very tight connection. It's a bit difficult, you have to move the airbox out of the way to get it in place. But it's in place! Excellent. Okay, next we need 19F, which is this little piece, and it goes into them two holes there. And you can see there's one peg bigger than the other, so this should be pretty straightforward. That will go there, and that will go there, just like that. Now that will probably need a little bit of super glue. Now this piece, 19G, is D-shaped, so that will only go in one way, and it goes into that hole. Just there, you can see that hole there. Get this into place. There we go. Nope, it's fine. I mustn't have put it in properly. I think the other one can press in a bit more. There we go. There we go. See them two pieces now? That's better. So there we go, that's 19F and 19G. Get it the right way up. Looking cool. Do love this engine. There we go. That is stage 19 complete. Let's move on to stage 20. Okay, now we have stage 20. We have Singapore 2023. I think they failed in qualifying for this, and they came down the order. Where are we? There, 11th and 13th. Yeah. Let's see, Ferrari 1 and the two boys 5th and 8th in this one. Ooh, the winning streak coming to an abrupt end. There we go. And in the parts, accelerator and brake pedals. In this issue, the accelerator and brake pedals are mounted on the survival cell assembly. So we have 20A brake pedal shaft, 20B accelerator pedal shaft, 20C pedal cylinders times 2, 20D steering shaft lower rear support, 20E accelerator pedal, 20F brake pedal, 20G pedal support, 20H pedal springs times 2 K and L screws. Excellent. There we go, pop them onto the survival cell, and that is what we're left with. Excellent, there's a survival cell, there are the parts, let's get on with the build. Okay, we'll get the parts out. There we go, those are the parts. We don't need the screws just yet. There are the pedals, everything is plastic. You can see the difference between the two pedals. Yeah, there's only one piece there, there's one on either side of that pedal. Right, pop them to one side. We need these two. This is 20A. 20A goes on here, 20B goes onto that peg there. Now, let's see, this is 20A. Yep. It's difficult to distinguish which is which, to be honest. 20A, 20B. We'll press that into place there. And we can move that around a little bit, make it straight. And 20B just goes on the other side, the other peg. Just like that. I think it's the shape of them, if you have a look. There's a shape there to it. So, there we go, that's 20B, that's 20A. Yeah, you can see that little piece coming out that side. Right, we need the springs. And we need 20H and 20C. Okay, we've got 20C and we've got 20H. Now 20C has a D-shaped connection there. These are both exactly the same, and they basically go over. Oh, let me get over that. There we go. See how that goes in? So that will go in to there, and I would imagine it sits into that D-shaped connection on the bottom. There we go. I think that's how that's supposed to go. And then we pop in the spring right down the middle. That stays there like that. So put the other one in, 20C. It is quite fiddly this, because you basically leave that spring out for now. Working in the dark. Just see. Line it up like that, if I can just see. There we go. There are D-shaped connections at the bottom of the survival cell for 20C. And it's just a matter of popping the springs in. There we go. Just like that. Quite fiddly. Right, now we can pop that to one side, because we need to make the pedals up onto these brackets, and we need L screws. Okay, now we can put the pedals onto 20G. This is 20G, so we need it that way around, and this one is 20F, which will go into here, and we just use one L screw. There we go. And we do the same on this side for this pedal. Okay, line that up again and put the screw through. There we go. Brilliant. Them two pegs there will go into the springs. Excellent. So we need this back, and basically that, like I said, will engage with the springs. Come on, bad boys. One's lining up, the other one doesn't want to. This is really fiddly. Ah, there we go. And we get it over. There's a connection just here for a screw. There we go. See that? It is rather fiddly, to be honest. Yeah, we got the... There we go. I don't think that's going to make any difference, the fact that I've not loosened. Nah, doesn't matter anyway, they're not going to be operational them anyway. Right, now we need this bracket, and I think we need a K screw, because this bracket goes over the top. There we go, you can see everything alright now. See the springs at the back of the pedals and that bracket. Just need the one K screw. There we go. Don't over tighten it, whatever you do. Excellent. There we go. That's the brake and accelerator pedals in place. Mechanically, they don't really do anything. So there we go. That's the brake and the accelerator pedals. Looking pretty cool. Rather fiddly, but it's in place. Excellent. That's stage 20. Well, there we go, folks. There's the engine as it is now. We have still got some vacant ends of them leads. There's those two pieces that we've not used yet, and there's the survival cell with the brake and accelerator pedals in place. That could be quite fiddly. 20C, these two pieces here. There is, like I said before, there's a D-shaped connection on the bottom of this survival cell, obviously on this inside, and it's difficult to see being black on black as well as, so yeah, it's just a matter of being patient with it. They don't really do anything, these. There we go. They only pivot a little bit. You could loosen them off, but really they're not going to do anything. They're not attached to any switches, so they're just there for aesthetics, I suppose, really. More detail as they should have, really. But there we go, that is it. 18 to 20 complete. Well, there we go, folks. That is looking brilliant, that engine, is it not? Quite fiddly, some of the pipe work, some of the parts that you have to put into place. Yeah, but I mean, it's really worth it. They're quite challenging at times, but this is what we need with these part works. But I do love that engine, looks gorgeous. And the accelerator and brake pedals, there we go. See them, right? Yeah, they could be quite fiddly as well, but it weren't too bad at all. Anyway, I'm absolutely loving this build. We have obviously got more to do with this engine. Yeah, I've not glued very much on this, and none of the pipework I've glued yet. I did have problems, I should say problems, I did have a little gap for that manifold there, but off camera I just took it off again, popped it in on its own, and it went in perfectly alright. Yeah, but it's nice and closed up, as you can see. There we go, looking cool. Yeah, looks brilliant. It's no wonder they won so many Grand Prix. Anyway, that is it for the Red Bull this month. I hope you did enjoy this. I hope next month they take us long. The videos I'm really going to have to try and shrink them down. I'm glad I didn't do all 6 issues at once, that's for sure. Anyway, thanks for tuning in and watching. Stay safe, and hopefully I'll see you next month. Bye for now.